These are the books I will be reading today. I love a little cringy book. Sue me. I just wanted to rate it 1 star because it pissed me off. I wasn't buying what they were selling. Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a reading wrap-up, specifically a mid-year reading wrap-up. I am going to be talking about all the books that I've read so far in 2026. But not only am I doing that, I'm also going to be reading them. I have my tea and as many physical copies of the books that I have read, and I am going to rate them. These are the books I will be reading today, plus a few extra that I listen to on audiobooks. So we'll just go through them quickly before we get into the tier rating list. We have Main Characters by Hannah Ornstein. This is about 2 sisters who have never met until their father passes away. There's some arguments over a family cabin, just about navigating sisterhood and grief. Next is Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. This is part of the Red Queen series. This is about a world separated between silvers and reds, people with powers and people without powers. Then you've got The King's Cage. This is the 3rd book in the series and focuses a little bit more on rebellion. This is the Elsie Silver Chestnut Springs series. It's a bit of a country small town romance. And I've got People Watching, also small town romance. Can you tell that I'm a small town romance girly? Books that I don't have physical copies of. I Invited Her In, which is a psychological thriller by Adele Parks. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That one is a romance. And then I have Mad Mabel by Sally Hempworth, which is, I guess, how do I even describe that one? From Sally Hempworth, the New York Times bestselling author of The Soulmate and The Good Sister, comes a twist-filled, darkly funny mystery about the 2 kinds of people no one ever expects to be murderers: little girls and old ladies. I'm gonna scooch over to one side of the book cabinet so I can put my tier list here. The way that I've structured my tier list, I've written like sort of explanations, but basically they're each the star ratings that I would give it. So I rate my books on Goodreads, which is 1 to 5 stars. I think they've introduced half stars now. Honestly, I haven't done any half stars for anything that I know of, but my 1 star, so going through the tiers on my tier list, the lowest one we have is Was This Proofread, which is the equivalent to a 1-star read. It basically means that I don't know how this book got past the line. It really should have just had a little bit more thought put into it. Next is I would recommend it to my enemies. This is a 2-star out of 5, and that is like overall not a great book. I wouldn't read again. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone I like. Didn't really enjoy it. And then we have 3-star, which is Kind of Fumbled. Now this is a perfectly acceptable book. You know, it was promising, but there was just something about it where it lost it. Maybe it was the very end. Maybe it was like a mystery reveal that just didn't live up to the anticipation that's been happening the whole time. It just kind of fumbled. Next is 4 stars out of 5. Made it to the display shelf. This is a big honor. So this is my shelf here, and pretty much all the books that I buy and read and like enough, they stay here. If I really like a book, I'll have it facing the other way, so it's sort of facing outward. I don't think I have anything like that right now. I am trying to sort of bulk up the books so I don't have too many for the size of this bookshelf. And there is a particular book that I would like to display facing out. I just don't have it. I'm waiting for the hardcover version because paperbacks to get to stand to face out is difficult. So I made it to the display shelf. Great, loved it. The highest rating, 5 stars, telling everyone and their mother about this book. Now, there is something you should know about me as a reader. I am not very highbrow. I love me a simple little cheesy romance. I love a little cringy book. Sue me. And I don't rate it, like if I'm reading, you know, if I'm reading a Laurie Gilmore book, you know, really simple, cheesy, small town romance, maybe even a little bit cringy, right? I'm not deducting stars from it because it wasn't this huge, like mind turning, like life revolutionary. I'm just saying so many words right now. It wasn't like this changing lives book but it lived up to what it was supposed to be, which was like this cozy small town romance. So you get a 5 stars if that is what you were supposed to be. But if you were supposed to be this insane psychological thriller where there's all these twists and turns, and I've clocked who it is on like the first go, then why, like, you're not good. You know, so I'm not like deducting points because the writing style is different or because it was simple or something, like, you know. So if you're staying after I've said all this, welcome, let's get into it. So the first book that I read, and I say that loosely because I didn't actually finish it, I'm kind of in denial. I'm calling it a soft DNF, but it feels pretty DNF'd. If you don't know what DNF means, it just means did not finish. So a book that you stop reading. I am a proud DNFer, okay? Life's too short to spend your time reading books that you don't really vibe with. I don't know if it's necessarily the book and just like the time that I was reading it. And it's like once you start a book and then you put it away, even if it was like really amazing and like you know it was the time, sometimes you just feel a bit iffy about picking it back up. And that is the case with this book. Main characters, by Hannah Ornstein. I liked it. Honestly, it was good. But I read 43 pages and I've soft DNF'd it. It hasn't gripped me. The characters don't seem really interesting to me. Yeah, I'm like, I don't really care about their story, honestly. So I haven't rated it because I've soft DNF'd it. But if we're going to rate it today, I am going to... I feel like I can't give a true rating because I have stopped reading after 43 pages. But I don't think that I can rate it any higher than 3 stars because that takes away from books that I've actually read all the way through but are 3 stars or lower. So I am going to put this one at 2 stars. I would recommend it to my enemies. Okay, next book. I don't have a copy of it. This is the one that I'm waiting for the hardcover copy to display because I am telling everyone and their mother about this book. I just love it. I love it. It was so amazing. Like, the writing was so good. This is like the book where it's like, it is like a bit life-changing and it lives up to it. Like, the writing was great. The plot twist, like, oh my gosh. The writing was so good that I forgot that there were plot twists. Like, that's how you know it's a good book. And I've recommended it to other people. They've read it and they have both positively expressed how much like they liked it. So don't just take my word for it, take the word of people I've recommended it to as well. Read Mad Mabel. It is amazing. Mad Mabel, Sally Hempworth. I am dying to read more of her books, but I've got like 3 books open right now and I just need to finish some of those before I get into it. But wow. I can't say enough about it. I love it. I was honestly like, I had to stop reading for a bit because I just had to like keep digesting it. The end, perfect. It's not often that you find like a perfect ending to a book. I really liked it, honestly. I don't know if that's like a bit controversial, liking the ending of that, but I loved it. I thought it made sense. The tiniest thing, like if I could change one thing, is the repeating of history to the kid. I don't remember her name, but if you've read it, like I think you'll know what I mean. I just don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't read it. I just like that, like a little part, like they could have done without insinuating that. I just don't think that it makes too much sense. Like it kind of took away a little bit of realism for me, because it's not something that's contagious. So I'm like, why is that happening to her? Anyway, so moving on. Next up is Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I have been reading the Red Queen series for so long, for like a year. I've been a bit slow. I think this is the 3rd one in the series, or maybe the 2nd. I'm gonna have a quick look at what I've rated it. Yeah, okay. So this is the 2nd one in the series, and looking back at my Goodreads rating, I stand by it. I said that it was hard to pick up, but once you did, I could get into it relatively easy. So yeah, I liked it. Wasn't fully there for me. I am going to stick true with my Goodreads rating, which was 3 stars, and I'm going to put it in Kind of Fumbled. Another book that I don't have a copy of is One True Loves. I listened to this audiobook and oh my god, this was frustrating. It was the kind of book where I wanted to rate it 1 stars because it pissed me off. But if a book can make you feel that way, surely it deserves a high rating. So I struggled with that. It makes my blood boil a bit because it's just like the injustice towards this one character. I mean, like something that sums it up. This is the synopsis of One True Loves. In her 20s, Emma Blair marries her high school sweetheart Jessie. They build a life for themselves, far away from the expectations of their parents and the people of their hometown in Massachusetts. They travel the world together, living life to the fullest and seizing every opportunity for adventure. On their first wedding anniversary, Jessie is on a helicopter over the Pacific when it goes missing. Just like that, Jessie is gone forever. Emma quits her job and moves home in an effort to put her life back together. Years later, now in her 30s, Emma runs into an old friend, Sam, and finds herself falling in love again. When Emma and Sam get engaged, it feels like Emma's second chance at happiness. That is, until Jessie is found. He's alive, and he's been trying all these years to come home to her. With a husband and a fiancé, Emma has to now figure out who she is and what she wants, while trying to protect the one she loves. Who is her one true love? What does it mean to love truly? Emma knows she has to listen to her heart, she's just not sure what it's saying. Once she makes up her mind of who she wants to be with, she then does something with the other guy and justifies it. And I just don't like that, because you have someone being patient and giving you like room to work it out, and you decide you want to be with them, but that's not enough for you to not do something physical with someone else. Like, no, I wasn't okay with that. I like do not care, girl. Like you made up your mind and you did it anyway, and to me that's worse than cheating. It is cheating, but it feels worse than it somehow. I feel ashamed to admit that I rated it 4 stars because it was written well and it was captivating. I couldn't put it down, but as soon as I finished, God, I've never wanted to throw my phone over the room before, but I really did. So for this book, for One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, you are unfortunately going to made it to the display shelf. Made it to the display shelf. Like, I recommend it. It was great, but just prepare to be angry. I had a little bit of a break from the other Red Queen book, and then I moved on to King's Cage. This one, I believe I need to see my Goodreads rating. Okay, I didn't rate this one on Goodreads, so this is gonna utilize my memory here. I remember reading this and I enjoyed it a lot more than the previous one. I found it so much more interesting. I guess because we can go a little bit more psychological as opposed to the other books when it's a bit more war-bound. It's just very physical. And I'm not that kind of girly. I'd rather reading about the mind games. I'd rather the plotting. Like, it was a lot more interesting to me. I think it was good. And it really set the tone for me for picking up the next book. Like, I've started reading the next one, so must have been good because the break I had in between this and the last one was quite a while. So to rate this, I'm gonna rate this, made it to the display shelf, 4 out of 5 stars. Ooh, I've got some Elsie Silver books to chat about. Oh my gosh, okay, so Powerless. I loved this. This is the second book in the series and I found it so much more enjoyable than the first book. I honestly didn't like the first book a lot. I read the first book last year and it took me a while to pick up the next one, but getting into this, I thought it was amazing. I much rather their romance than Summer and Rhett, I want to say his name was. I didn't like it. I didn't like that instant attraction. I rather the longing. I rather the yearning. Like, I needed it. Okay, and this was good. This gave me it. So I love this. I thought maybe this would have been my favorite one out of the series. Honestly, this is a 5-star read for me. It lived up to what it was supposed to be. It met all my expectations. I thought it was amazing. So I love it. Next is Reckless. I thought the previous book was good, and now I'm like, I need 6 stars. I need a 6-star rating for this. It was amazing. Honestly, it like reminded me of me and my partner. Like, you know, you've got the icy girl, and then you've got the warm, loving family guy, and I just love the way like he makes her melt, and the way like what they bring out of each other. I just love their passion. It's very passionate. I do hate miscommunication tropes, so that one little bit, like, but it's what the story is, so you can't really skirt around it. I hate the lost time. So yeah, but I love it. I love it. I really think you should read it if you're looking for a sexy little romance. This is it. Reckless by Elsie Silver. Hopeless by Elsie Silver. Wow. To be the last one in the series, this let me down so bad. It felt inappropriate, and you know, I'm all for a little age gap, but it was just, they really highlighted her innocence and his lack of innocence, and then they did some weird stuff. And you know, I think if you've read this book, you know what I'm talking about. The bathtub scene, that was interesting. That was very interesting. If you guys read the back of it, it wasn't the epilogue, but it was like more like an author's note, where it was her talking to, ooh, it's like the acknowledgements at the back, and Elsie's asking her, I don't know, someone in the book world if the scene is weird, and they said no, it could be sexy, and I'm just like, no, I do think it's a bit weird, but you know, if someone likes that, who am I to judge? It's just, yeah, very much not for me. I thought, yeah, I didn't really like it, but I still read the whole thing. I just think that it could have been a little bit better. So for that, I am going to write kinda fumbled. You were third on the pyramid, third overall. Okay, this next one, I also don't have a physical copy. It is I Invited Her In by Adele Parks, I want to say. Yes. This was interesting. I had never heard of it before. I'd never been recommended it. I was just searching on Spotify, and I guess I'd like mistyped something and it came up as recommended. And reading the synopsis, it sounded kind of interesting. I'll read it out to you now. A gripping story of friendship and betrayal from international bestseller author Adele Parks. I invited her in, and she took everything. When Mel hears from a long-lost friend in need of help, she doesn't hesitate to invite her to stay. Mel and Abby were best friends back in the day, sharing the highs and lows of student life, until Mel's unplanned pregnancy made her drop out of her studies. Now, 17 years later, Mel and Abby's lives couldn't be more different. Mel is happily married, having raised her son on her own before meeting her husband, Ben. Now they share gorgeous girls and have a chaotic but happy family home with 3 children. Abby, meanwhile, followed her lover to LA for a glamorous life of parties, celebrity, and indulgence. Everything was perfect until she discovered her partner had been cheating on her. 17 years wasted and nothing to show for it. So what Abby needs now is a true friend to lean on, to share her grief over a glass of wine, and to have some time to heal. And what better place than Mel's house with her lovely kids and supportive husband? This dark, unsettling tale of the reunion of long-lost friends is thoroughly gripping exploration of wanting what you can't have, jealousy, and revenge from Sunday Times bestseller Adele Parks. I don't actually know where to start with this book. So there were some things that piqued my curiosity, but it's very much one of those books where you can anticipate everything. And it's like you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. But then as you got to the end, they surprised you with how it was going to go. and I didn't like it. I rathered how I expected it to go, sort of in line with how I'd been expecting everything in the book to go, and it kept living up to what I expected until the end. And I don't know if they did that just to, like, you know, be a little different, be a little interesting, whatever, but it did not hit. I really didn't like the ending. It made me sad, honestly. And I couldn't help but feel confused. Like, Mel was just too blind. I just don't see how someone can be that blind. It felt like there were so many obvious things, and I don't know if she's just a very benefit of the doubt person, but yeah, I just don't know how you could mess with that, honestly. It was a little bit gross. There's some things that I didn't like. Yeah. And it really goes to show you just got to be honest about things, and maybe don't invite someone back into your house that you're keeping a secret from, you know? So overall, had something good going, but it kind of fumbled. Last one, people watching. I do have this as a copy. I wanted it for my little autumn video. It's just like so autumnal. Look at it, beautiful. So this is A Small Town of Romance. It's called People Watching by Hannah Bonin Young. And Prudence was cute. Prue was really cute. I liked her, but she was a little bit flat. I feel like her character didn't have a whole lot to it, and maybe that's the point, at least at the start, but I feel like there could have been a bit more development to her as opposed to just like a bucket list. Like, I think it was a very shallow view of character development. And then the male love interest, Milo, I didn't like him, and I feel like it was kind of, I wasn't buying what they were selling. Like, they're trying to say that he's like this lover boy at heart, and he's just damaged and hurt and whatnot, and he sleeps with hundreds of people. But then all of a sudden he is all good to just be with Prue and just not go back to his playboy ways, like not even a second thought. It was just like a really quick turn, and they didn't go into it at all. So for that, it kind of fumbled, but it was cozy. So if you're looking for a nice cozy read, it's got some good scenes in it, if you know what I mean. It was good. Okay, sorry to end on a downer. It just kind of fumbled. So overall, these are my ratings. Let me know if you agree, if you have the same thoughts, if you completely don't agree, if you think I'm missing the plot. If you've read any of these books, I would love to know your thoughts. Please comment down below, share me your rating. Follow me on Goodreads if you're interested in that. It is linked down in my bio. I try and be really active with all my reviews over there. So far this year, I have read 9 books with a goal of 20, so I'm not too far behind. I am reading 3 at the moment, so hopefully that will wrap up the same time and get me over that halfway mark. That is everything that I have for you guys today. If you liked this video, please like it, comment below, subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.